If I was just getting into saddle hunting, these are the 7 accessories that I would make sure to pick up before deer season. There's a lot of extras that you can get along the way, but these 7 things are gonna make the most immediate difference in your hunting system. And the best part about it is they're all under $35, and I'll link to all these things down below in the description. So to start things off, let's assume that you already have a saddle, you have your climbing sticks and a platform, and you have a dump pouch with all of your ropes. The 7 things we're going to talk about in this video are going to enhance your saddle hunting experience, make you that much more effective as a saddle hunter. So the first accessory that I would pick up in no particular order is an Ader. And there's a lot of different Aders out there on the market. So what an Ader does, it allows me to get even higher without adding weight or bulk to my setup. As you can see, it takes my 2-step stick and essentially gives me a 3rd step, allowing me to get that much higher without any extra weight or bulk. You could pick these up on Latitude's website. They're not very expensive. They're AM steel, so they're ultra strong, and it makes it a very convenient way to be able to get higher up in the tree. Now, there's also places online where you can order multi-step Aders. So as you can see here, I have a 3-step Ader. It doesn't even fit in the frame. Basically allows me to put 1 stick on the tree at about 9 feet, and I have 3 steps to be able to get up even higher. Now, personally, I only run a multi-step Ader on my very lowest stick. Can be a little sketchy at times, so I prefer not to do that 20 feet up in the tree, but allows me to get another 3 or 4 feet out of this climbing stick that I wouldn't have otherwise, and it packs down super compact, doesn't take up any more space than any of my other sticks. So it's a great way and an inexpensive way to get higher in the tree without adding weight and without adding bulk. And here's how I have my 2 sticks packed up. I have my single step Ader over here wound up on the little bat wing, and then I have my multi-step Ader that I just wind up, use a piece of shot cord, which we'll talk about in a little bit, secure to the bottom, and I have a nice compact package to transport in and out of the woods. Now, accessory number 2, which can get bunched up, stuck in a dump pouch, put in a pocket, put in your backpack, is a gear strap. You need a way to be able to hang your stuff from the tree, whether it's a grunt call, whether it's an extra jacket, whether it's your backpack. You need a way to be able to hang your stuff. In addition to that, you need a bow hanger, which we'll talk about in a minute. But Latitude sells this gear strap. It's super simple and it packs down extremely small. So once I get the hunting height and I attach to my tether, this is the next thing that comes out of my bag. And all you do is you attach this gated G-hook, you tighten this down, and now you have a gear strap. You got all sorts of places to hang gear. If you have little carabiners, I have a place to hook my backpack on this plastic carabiner here. And the cool thing about this is I can raise and lower my backpack to get it out of the way. So a gear strap is absolutely essential. And this is probably also true if you're hunting from a tree stand, but you need a way to hang your gear once you get up in the tree. And the 3rd accessory that I would pick up right away is a bow hanger. And this is Latitude's Bite bow hanger. It's one of the few portable metal bow hangers on the market. I feel a lot more confident hanging my super expensive bow from this versus a plastic one or a 3D printed bow hanger. It folds up super compact still. It actually has a metal standoff on the back to make it that much more secure. And I just have it wrapped with some camo tape just for some extra concealment. But this is a deadly combo right here. The gear strap and the Bite bow hanger. I definitely recommend it, and those are things that you're gonna wanna pick up right away before deer season. If you guys wanna see how I actually set up in the tree, where I would position these things in the tree, I'll link to a video that outlines my entire process if you guys wanna check that out. But if I was facing the tree like this is essentially where I would want my bow hanger. So that way my bow would be hanging down here. I would set up for a strong side shot, anticipating deer somewhere coming from this way, and I'd be able to lift my bow, draw with minimal movement. Accessory number 4 that I would not hunt without is my Doyle's bow hoist, and this is an auto retracting bow hoist. So basically it allows me to hook my bow up to it while I'm on the ground, hang my climbing sticks and climb the tree, and as I ascend the tree, the perfect amount of line is going to come out of this. So it's not going to be a bunch of slack blowing around in the wind, getting caught in branches. It's going to be nice and neat. And then when I pull my bow up, it's going to automatically retract back into itself, dead silent. And again, just eliminates one more step of having to coil up a bow rope, uncoiling up a bow rope when you go to drop your bow at the end of the hunt. It makes things very simple, very neat. I just hook it to the back of my saddle. I have a little pouch that I put it in, but you can also just attach it. There's a hook on the side of this bow hoist that you could just put it in one of these molly loops. I would definitely not hunt without this given the choice. It just makes things so much simpler. It eliminates a lot of the headaches of having tangled up lines stuffed in a dump pouch or in the bottom of your backpack. And there's one thing I've figured out about saddle hunting and mobile hunting in general, is that by making things as efficient as possible, it actually makes you want to mobile hunt instead of sit a preset tree stand. So instead of being comfortable where you are, even though you know it's not in the right place, you're more willing to move to a different area if that's what you need to do to be in the right spot to get the job done. The fifth accessory that I would not hunt without is my stealth strips. And that's what that camo adhesive back felt is on my climbing sticks and on my platform. It basically deadens any noise when you have two hard surfaces that hit each other. I completely cover my sticks with this, as well as a lot of the surfaces on my platform. The platform can be a little tricky since you're standing on top of it, but by stealth stripping your gear, you're going to be that much more quiet, which is super critical, especially if you're trying to set up close to bedded deer, which if you're saddle hunting, that's part of the plan, is to get as close to the deer as possible before they get up and go about their business. So you have to be stealthy, you have to be quiet. It doesn't do you any good to get in, make a bunch of noise, blow those deer out, and ruin your hunt. You can get pre-cut stealth strips for the Latitude sticks on their website. Saves you a lot of time and effort. You can also get an entire roll of it on Amazon, and I'll link to these things down below. But that way, if you want to do your platform or other accessories or other sticks, you can do that. But stealth strips are well worth the money, well worth the time. It's a little bit tedious sometimes putting them on, but I highly suggest it. I would not hunt without these things. Accessory number 6, and probably the cheapest of them all, is these plastic carabiners that I use. And you could probably get a 10-pack of these for like $5 on Amazon. But I put one right here on my hip, and that's how I attach my sticks to my hip as I ascend the tree, so that way I can take one off at a time and go up the tree in one single trip instead of hanging a stick, climbing down, grabbing another one, going up, hanging the next stick, climbing down. You don't want to do that. It's extra noise, extra effort, extra sweat. You want to be able to basically get to your tree, ascend the tree in one single trip, which I have a video about and I'll link somewhere up here. But by having these carabiners, it makes that possible. It's also how I attach my platform to the back of my saddle as I climb the tree. This way I can climb the tree. Once I get up to the height I want to hunt, I just reach back there, unhook it, and I'm able to put my platform on. Same thing in reverse order. When I'm done hunting, I take my platform off, I drop my platform in there, and I'm good to go. I can climb down and I just unhook it when I get to the bottom of the tree, attach it to my backpack, I'm good to go. Last but not least, and the last accessory that I would for sure get before deer season, and another cheap one, is a roll of shot cord. And shot cord's just bungee cord. I buy it in long rolls of it, and it's how I attach my sticks to the little carabiners on my hip. I tie a square knot on each side of the stick. I'm able to just hook it on my hip. Now my sticks are on my hip, ready to take off one by one as I get up in the tree. I use the same kind of shot cord and put a little bit bigger loop on one of my sticks, so that way I can wrap around all of my sticks while I'm transporting them. And now I have a nice, neat package that's not going to fall apart on the back of my backpack as I'm hiking in and out of the woods. When I get to my tree, I would take this off. I would put my one stick on the tree. This is the one with the multi-step Ader, so I would attach this to the tree. I would hook these back up so they're not banging around, and then I have a shot cord loop on the bottom of these like I just explained. Now all three of these are on my hip, and I can climb up to the top of my first stick. I would reach down, unhook this, take the next stick off, hang that one, and I continue to do that until I get as high as I'd like to go. The other thing that I use that shot cord for is putting a little loop on the end of my Versa button loop on my platform. And you can do this if you have a tree stand or a different platform. It works with all of them, but I put a little loop there so that way as I'm winding everything up at the end of my hunt, I just find a place to hook that, and now my lines are nice and neat, kind of holds my platform together. And again, I would just attach it to the back of my saddle and descend down the tree. So this way everything's nice and neat. I'm not making a giant mess as I'm trying to pack things up. So again, these are the 7 things that I would make sure to have in your saddle hunting system before deer season gets here. Make sure you practice ahead of time with all these things. They're all cheap, lightweight, but are going to make the world of difference when you're actually in the woods in the fall. If you have items that I've missed or have suggestions on how to be more efficient doing this thing, drop those down below in the comments. And again, I will link to all these items down below in the description, so that way you guys can buy the same exact ones that I use. And make sure you subscribe to the Next Step Outdoors YouTube channel. I have a lot of awesome saddle hunting content that I think will really help you out. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next video.